This young man hails, well, gosh, I don't know where he's at today, probably from Houston. He was in Baltimore City, then Houston, and then he went to Florida, built his team there, and he's hobbling back and forth. So no telling what city he's in today or where he's at, but I want to thank him for being on the call. He just popped his first regional director we saw at the last international convention on Zoom. We got another come up in June 25th, I think, is the next one. Just want to thank him. He got started at the ripe old age of 20. So look here, young folks. You ain't too old and you ain't too young. He worked at Applebee's. This guy, he wanted more than Applebee's. He got tired of going home smelling like pinto beans. I'm just joking. And he's a ripe old, he's 28 years old. He's built a big organization, lost it, and came back and built another one. See, it takes a smart person to go not once, but got up and did it again. See, I have respect for people that do it again. When my first company went down, I came to AC and I did it again. So, it takes a lot. It takes a special person to do it twice in a row, and he's a special guy. Without further ado, Regional Vice President, the one and only Mr. Shakeel Cooper. Let's give him a hand, everybody. Mr. Shakeel Cooper.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be back. It's really a blessing every time I'm here to be able to speak to you all. I'm very blessed and fortunate to be here. Again, I put together some amazing training that I think will help you guys this week. But before I do go into the training, I do want to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for all of those kind words and bringing me back, to share the information that I've been able to gain over these years with your organization. I know it's a big deal to open up your team to other people, but the fact that you do trust me to share this information with your organization, I'm very thankful for it. So for the people on the call, really quickly, a little background about myself. My name is Shakeel Cooper, like Mr. Thomas said. I got involved in this industry at 20 years old. Today, I'm 28 years old. But I remember just being a broke college student working at Applebee's while attending college when a close friend of mine said, hey, you open to making some money? I said, sure. I came out, saw the information, got started on the spot. And from October 27th, 2013, I made a decision to become my own boss. And since November of 2013, I've been able to do this business full time. I made a decision and said, you know what? I don't want to go to school anymore. And I don't want to work for Applebee's. I'd rather bet on myself. And that's exactly what I did. I'm not telling you to do the same thing, but I knew for myself that a job wasn't it and school wasn't it. I was just doing it to just get by until I really figured out what I really wanted to do. And today I was able to put together a training. I want to start off with a quick 6-minute video to prep your guys' mindset before I do go into the information. And like Mr. Thomas, I always ask you, can I just be real with everyone on the call? Because, me being real is just me being myself and sharing the information. I don't want to come off too tough, but I can tell you that I wish I did have people in my life that talk to me the way that I'm going to talk to you guys today. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go right into the information. Hold on one second.
There are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone.
One of the most difficult choices I've ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. When you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. And so it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
What was your biggest failure, and how did it change you?
Well, there's a ton of failures along the way, that's for sure. Like, so as I said, for SpaceX, the first 3 launches failed, and we're just barely able to scrape together enough parts and money to do the 4th launch. If that 4th launch had failed, we would have been dead. So multiple failures along the way. I tried very hard to get the right expertise in for SpaceX. I tried hard to find a great chief engineer for the rocket, but the good chief engineers wouldn't join, and the bad ones, well, there was no point in hiring them. So I ended up being chief engineer of the rocket. So if I could have found somebody better, then we would have maybe had less than 3 failures.
That 3rd failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. So many people try to talk me out of starting a rocket company. It was crazy. One good friend of mine collected a whole series of videos of rockets blowing up and made me watch those. He just didn't want me to lose all my money. We're doing these things that seem unlikely to succeed, and we've been fortunate, and at least thus far they have succeeded. Now is the time to take risk. You don't have kids. As you get older, your obligations increase. And once you have a family, you start taking risk not just for yourself, but for your family as well. It gets much harder to do things that might not work out. So now is the time to do that before you have those obligations. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it.
How did you figure you were going to start a car company and be successful at it?
Well, I didn't really think Tesla would be successful. I thought we would most likely fail. But I thought that we at least could address the false perception that people had that an electric car had to be ugly and slow and boring like a golf cart.
But you say you didn't expect the company to be successful, then why try?
If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure.
Or how do you think about making a decision when everyone tells you this is a crazy idea? Or where do you get the internal strength to do that?
Well, first of all, I'd say I actually think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of fear. I think about what technology solution is necessary in order to achieve the particular goal, and then try to make as much progress in that direction as possible. I think being a multi-planet species and being out there among the stars is important for the long-term survival of humanity, and that's one reason. But then the part that I find personally most motivating is that it creates a sense of adventure, and it makes people excited about the future. If you consider 2 futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system, I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring, and there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. You know, life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living. When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had one computer, so the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time. And I sort of briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. So work hard, like every waking hour. That's the thing I would say particularly if you're starting a company. Whatever area that you get into, given that even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. If you like what you're doing, you think about it even when you're not working. I mean, it'll
it's something that your mind is drawn to, and if you don't like it, you just really can't make it work, I think.
So going into that video, I just want to talk about something really briefly. A lot of people know about Elon Musk's story, but the more that I dig deep into this guy's story, the fact that, he started his business, when people hear about companies like PayPal, he was one of the people that started that company. But the fact, when you hear about these successful people, most of the time people always hear about, where they arrived at, but you never really get a chance to hear about where they start from. And success, everybody's story is really the same. Most people, they really started from nothing, a small office, small garage. Every big corporation today started off small. And you got to think of yourself the same way. So today's topic is about how to survive in the wild. And when I say survive in the wild, I mean survive in the world, because we can agree when you look around the world is basically just like the wild. It was just people walking around instead of animals. So we can agree that you have to learn how to survive in this world. And one of my favorite shows growing up was Man vs. Wild. Everyone know who Bear Grylls is. The guy's crazy. He's in a wild. I don't care if he got to eat a bug. He eat anything to survive. And that's the mindset that you got to have in this world, that you have to do whatever it takes in order to survive and take care of not only you, but your family for generations to come. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go right into the information. So ask yourself this question. How long would you survive in the wilderness? If you was dropped off in the wilderness, how long would you survive there? Are you going to be the person that's just going to give up and just quit? Or are you going to be the person that said, man, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And growing up, one of the things that I always watched was survival videos about people dropped off in the wild and learning out how to survive, because who knows if one day you're going to have that situation happen to you. You never know what your situation might be. So I always want to prepare myself for things like this, right? And when I say survive in the wilderness, I mean survive in the business, right? Because we can agree that business is kind of just like the wild, right? Everyone's out there grinding. Everyone out there is trying to be the number one. Everyone out there is trying to be the best. And you have to compete. You have to be the top predator. So to me, self-sufficiency is a powerful freedom that once you grant to yourself, and you have to have the mindset, you got to try everything. Try everything and anything, right? You want to throw away the manual, give yourself the education on how to survive in the wild. Captain your own ship. How are you going to build a ship? Let someone else steer it, and then be surprised when it doesn't go in the direction that you had in mind. Or worse, why would you abandon your own ship in the first way? Meaning that you have an opportunity to start your own business. But let's say, right, business might not be going the way you wanted to go. And then guess what? Your job said, hey, we got another, promotion for you. They paid you a little bit more money. And instead of you continuing to say, you know what, I'm going to build my own ship, you just get on somebody else's ship. And you don't care where it goes. And then you look down at the end of your life and said, you know what? I made the wrong decision. I did not steer my own ship. And instead, I got on someone else's ship. And guess what? They did whatever they wanted to do with me. They fired me whenever they wanted to fire me. They told me, you know what? You don't deserve this promotion. And guess what? You couldn't do anything. Why? Because you abandoned your own ship. And when I look at life and business, it's the same way. When I seen ACN for the first time, it was my opportunity to build my own ship. It was my first ship. Why? Because I didn't know anything about business. So when I built my first ship, I said to myself, you know what? I don't care how hard it is. I don't care what happens. Guess what? I'm not getting on anybody else's ship. I'm going to continue to build my own ship. I don't care, because guess what? I started off small. I consider myself a true independent business owner. Even though I have great mentors, that was there for me, throughout my process, I did the work. I did the work. See, my mentors had it so easy with me that we never had an argument. We have a great relationship. And the reason why, because I built my own ship, and whatever they did for me was a bonus. But if they choose to do anything for me, it did not matter to me, because guess what? I was already building my own ship. From there, people often get rid of their entire ship when they get offered another one, or even more tragic, some people barely even have a ship. Some people don't even think about owning their own business. Some people don't think about doing anything for themselves or their family. They are just pretty good with just getting up every single day, going to a place they didn't like just to pay bills. They're still putting together that little raft on the sand when some big shiny ship pulls up and offers them a ride. And guess what? Due to your lack of belief in yourself and your confidence, that little thing that you've been building can turn into a big shiny ship one day. But guess what? You rather get on somebody else's shit because it's easier. And most of the time, people rather go with what's easy and what looks good. But I can tell you that everything that's shiny is not gold. It might be gold plated. The grass is not always green on the other side because sometimes the fertilizer might be fake. The grass might be fake. It looks super good, but guess what? It's fake. It's not real. It can't do anything. You can't grow plants there. You can't do anything with it, right? So guess what? It's always best to build your own ship. I don't care how small it is. I don't care if you have 10 business partners in your organization. Even if you have one business partner, one customer, guess what? It's better to build your own ship than continue to get on board on other people's ship and they take you wherever they want to take you. See, I want to control my life. You know, I want to educate myself. I want to have my hands on the wheel so that, guess what? If anything happened, I can blame me. I put my dreams in my hand. You on this call today, you got to have the mindset that, guess what? I'm tired of just going with the flow of life. I'm tired of just doing what everybody else is doing. I'm tired of just following the masses because sometimes the M is silent. I tell people all the time, you're following the masses. Guess what happened? You are part of that group. I don't want to be a part of the 97% because when I look around my life, 97% of the people are just going by life day by day, not knowing what they want to do, not have anything going on, don't have plans on taking care of their family, don't have plans on trying to empower their business partners. They just get up every single day and just do what everybody else is doing. And if you continue to do that, how do you expect to have a life that most people dream about, right? I've always questioned authority. I question teachers. I question principals. I question managers. I question bosses. Listen, having a boss was never for me. Even though I know at the age of 17, 18, and 19, and 20 years old, I needed a boss because I didn't have a business, right? So guess what happened, right? I had the idea that, listen, I do not like someone else telling me what to do. I don't like someone else telling me, you know, what to do, how to do it, when to come into work, when to use the bathroom, when I can take a vacation. Listen, and let alone contractually being in contract saying that if I don't do what they tell me to do, they can fire me. That wasn't for me. I didn't have to know the ins and outs of business to know that I didn't want a boss. And I'm not bashing jobs. I'm just telling you that, listen, everyone that worked a job, they did not have the lifestyle that I dreamed about. But more importantly, they always complained about their job, even though they was making money there. So I can tell you, number one, that listen, you having that job is great to pay your bills, but at the same time, if you're just living life just to pay bills, then what's the point of living? If you are just living life and working just to pay bills, then what's the point of really living? Because to me, that's not living life. See, I didn't want to give up control of the what, the how, the when, and the why I was making what I was making. I didn't want to put it in anybody else's hand. I didn't want to say, you know what, man, I'm not making the money that I'm making today because of my job. No, what I said, I want to be the person that's in control of what I make, how I make it, when I make it, and why I was making what I was making. So that way I don't have no one to blame on. I didn't want to blame anyone. The only person I want to blame is myself, right? Don't fall for it. Build your own reality. Someone's opinion doesn't have to be your reality. And you have to have this right now. I want you, before you get off this call, have the mindset that, listen, as of today, I do not care about anybody else's opinion that's not helping me get to where I need to go. I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care if it's your father. I don't care if it's your grandmother. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care who it is. Stop listening to people's opinion that don't have their best options open for what you want out of life. That's just the mindset that I had. I don't care what nobody thinks about me. Not a single person that walked this earth. I don't care what you think about me if you're not helping me get there. I just don't care. And by me having that mindset is why for the past almost 8 years, I have been able to just be free. And the reason why I'm free, because I don't care about what people got going on. I don't care about what people think about me. I don't care about what anybody thinks about anything about what I'm doing for my family. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to take care of my family. They're not going to pay my bills. They're not going to do anything for me but just run their mouth. And people, guess what? Everybody got opinions. Everybody got opinions. Listen, people can tell you how to do it, but they never done it. Don't listen to people that never done anything that's trying to tell you how to do something. I don't listen to those people. I don't care. Listen. This is the person I am, right? I look at somebody and I say to myself, I take the good and I leave the bad. Because guess what? You can get something good out of everyone. But guess what? I don't look at someone and say, you know what? I want their life, because not a single person in this world have everything that I want. See, I just take little bits and pieces of the great things that people have and I just implement it into my life. But as far as taking people's opinions, I don't do that. And guess what? Don't do that either. Don't listen to people that don't have what you want. Don't listen to people that don't want to help you get there. Don't listen to people that have anything positive to say about what you got going on, right? Society sets you on a path towards a dependable, predictable life in a box, right? They tell you the path is go to college. That's the road to success. That's the road to happiness. No, it's not, because everybody I know that went to college and is in debt, they are not happy. They are not happy. I don't care what they said. They're not happy. I was watching something yesterday from Dave Ramsey, and this couple was 29 years old, and they was in $1 million worth of debt, and almost $400,000 of that was student loans. Student loans. $400,000, they're in debt. They're not happy. They're almost $1 million in debt, and they're not even 30 years old. And guess what? They had almost $300,000 in credit card debt and personal loans. So do you see how society sets you down a path to just be in debt? And people talk about slavery, but guess what? Debt is slavery. Because at the end of the day, if you are hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and you're not using that degree, or you're not really happy about what you're doing, but you did it to make your mom happy, you did it to make your grandma happy, you did it to make all of these people happy, but at the end of the day, you're not happy because you are the one now stuck with this big bill and you got to pay for this for the rest of your life, and you're not happy with it. See, when I seen the business when I was in college, I said to myself, man, I'm out of here. Literally, I stopped going to school. I stopped going to work. Because I said to myself, listen, if I continue to just work a job, continue to go to school, I'm just like the masses. So in order to not be like the masses, guess what I did? I said, you know what? Time to scrap this whole plan and create a new plan. And guess what I did? I said to myself, I'm going to be my own boss and I'm going to do whatever it takes, but I would never go back to working a job. I would never go back to having a boss, and I would never go back to having someone control my life. And at 20 years old, I said to myself that would never happen. And guess what? When I was broke, when I was struggling, when I had nothing, when I lost it all, guess what happened? I still never went back and got a job because I said to myself, I'm going to bet on me. I'm going to bet on me. I looked my mom in my eyes and told her I dropped out of college, but guess what? She couldn't do nothing about it because I was paying for it out of pocket. I've been independent before the business. So I didn't need anyone to do anything for me other than be my support system. And that's just me. I don't need people to do anything for me, but just to support me. And a lot of people would tell you that what you want, what you can't have in life, that you can't achieve it. Never internalize other people's limits about your own. Don't fall for it. Listen, there's not a one size fit it all for your path in life, because guess what? Someone else can tell you about why it can't work, but why can't most people tell you about why something can work? You always notice that people always tell you why something can't work, but they never tell you reasons why it can work. So to figure all of this out on how and to get what you want, you must follow your own path. To a certain onlooker, you might be lost, right? You might be struggling right now. You might be, man, things are not going the way it go. And everybody is looking at you, your family looking at you, your spouse looking at you, everybody looking at you like you lost and crazy. You messed up in life, but guess what? You are just exploring. See, I tell people all the time, listen, you got to do what's best for you. What makes you happy? Not what makes anybody else around you happy. I don't have a lot of friends. And the reason why, because I choose not to be like the people that was around me, because guess what? They didn't have anything going on, but more importantly, they didn't want to get on the same boat with me, and I'm trying to help them. And it's going to be the people that you are trying to help be the one drilling holes in your boat. So you got to be careful about who you allow on your boat. So when you lose yourself in something that you're passionate about, you will find yourself there. You will find yourself there, but in order to lose yourself, let alone find yourself, you will need uninterrupted time by yourself. And a lot of people, they don't like being by themselves. Me, I love being by myself. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The reason why I love it, because guess what? I find myself when I'm by myself. I am my best friend. I don't need a bunch of people around me to be able to feel good about myself. My son, mom tell me all the time, you don't have no friends. You don't have no friends. And guess what? I'm like, man, I'm the happiest man in the world, because guess what? All the friends I do have are people that I do want to be friends with. I don't need a bunch of fake people around me. I don't need a bunch of cheerleaders that's on the side, yeah, do it. But in the real life, they really are envious of me because I had the passion and the goal and the drive to go out there and make it happen and bet on myself when they didn't want to bet on themselves. They was too busy listening to what mommy tell them to do. Mommy said, go to school and do this. But you never wanted to do that. So now you just put yourself in debt to impress mommy. And guess what? Once you graduate, everybody clap for you. Guess what? Now the real world start. Now you're starting life off negative 50, 60, 70, $80,000 in debt. Does that make sense to me? No, it don't make sense to me. And the reason why I knew that didn't make sense to me because I watch everyone around me. And I'm like, man, these people are not happy. They working multiple jobs. They doing this, they doing that. They making money, but they always working, but they always broke. And I'm like, it don't matter how much money you make. If your habits and the people around you are not influence you in better ways, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be just like your friends. You're going to be partying every weekend. You're going to be getting drunk. You're going to be eating a bunch of food that's not good for you. You're going to be hanging around people that's not good for you. Listen, who you are, who you spend the most time with. I choose to spend the most time with by myself because I don't want to be influenced by other people, right? So it's when you're going to self-explore, you are consistently seeking company, then you need to have a snapback. You are scared to face yourself. And the problem is that most people are scared to be by themselves. You are scared of the unknown. You are scared to be alone. And that's why some of y'all on this call are probably in relationships that you don't like, but guess what? You didn't want to be alone. So because you don't want to be alone, you just got with anybody, right? That's me. Listen, I've been in one relationship my whole entire life. And the reason why, because guess what? I'm not settling for nothing. If it's not what I wanted to be, guess what? I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with nobody. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how your body look. I don't care about none of that. If you don't have the things that I truly think is going to really make me happy in the long term, is going to be able to help me, build for generations to come, then I don't want you a part of my life. Women throw themselves at me all the time. And guess what? They get no energy because they don't have what I want. You got to come with more than just looks to get at me. I'm sorry. I know my value. I'm not an easily influenced guy. I know that I have to be able to build something today that will take care of my son for generations to come. And I know my purpose and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm not going to get distracted by a bunch of things that's not going to help me out in the long run. So I think it's very healthy to spend time alone. You need to know how to be alone and not to be defined by another person. You might be in a relationship right now that's not helping you. Get out of it. You got one life to live. Why would you stay in something that's not making you happy? Why? It don't make sense because guess what? Life is short and you only got one life to live. Embrace this fear. Take it on as a challenge day by day. This is a race, yes, but guess what? It's not against anyone else. The race is only against your own doubt. You are your biggest enemy. You are your biggest enemy. Nobody's stopping you. Listen, what somebody else think negative about you can't stop you unless you let that to stop you, right? Listen, they say all the time, a ship will never sink by the water on the outside. A ship will only sink once the water on the outside gets in the inside. So it's the same with people. No matter what people say about you, guess what? It don't matter. But the moment you start allowing people to influence you and get in your head, then guess what? You not allow that person to control your life. And a lot of people, they get alone and think, I'm lonely. Many people define that and they limit to their life to just wanting a relationship above everything else. There's some people that their whole entire all they care about is being in a relationship. And that's why they're not successful. I live by this quote. You lose money chasing women, you'll never lose a woman chasing money. And you can take it how you want to take it. But I tell you all the time, no woman want a broke man. So you better get your money together. Period. You can't take care of a family broke. You can't take care of a relationship broke. You shouldn't even be in a relationship if your money not right. And the reason why I tell you that all the time, because guess what? You are putting more time and energy into something that's not producing anything, because if it was going to produce something, you would already have it. Period. You would already have it. I'm telling you, I've been in one relationship in my entire life. And at the end of the day, I always said to myself, man, I'm not settling for nothing that's not going to make me really happy and can help me build what I'm trying to build. And if you can't do that for me, then guess what? We are better off as being friends. Because the number one reason why most people are not successful is because they waste their time and their energy into these relationships that's not helping them out. So instead of choosing a person out of love, choose a person out of fear of being alone. You with anybody because you're scared to be alone. I've been alone my whole entire life, so I don't need anything. Listen, when I met my son's mom, I didn't need her to do anything for me. Listen, before I met her, I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to take care of my own entire house. I know how to take care of my son. I know how to do everything on my own. So I don't need a woman to really do too much for me, but just love me and, treat me good. Other than that, I don't need a woman to cook for me. I don't need a woman to do none of that for me because guess what? I know how to do it on my own. Literally, I know how to do it on my own. I change my son diapers. I bathe him. I feed him. I do everything that a mother is supposed to do every single day because I don't need a woman to do it for me. Because as a man, you're supposed to be independent. You're supposed to be able to do everything and anything that you are supposed to do in order to take care of your family and your business. You're not supposed to be looking at somebody else to do anything. If they're not doing what you want them to do, guess what? Do it on your own or go find somebody else that's willing to do it. This will never work, right? You will always have a void that only can be filled. And when you find yourself with that person that you're supposed to find with and you're living your true purpose, in fact, listen, when you are really living in your purpose, that person will actually find you. Don't set relationship goals, set life goals. I see people on Instagram and Facebook all the time, relationship goals, I want to be like this. And then they turn out, these relationships are fake, they're made up. But you spend your whole entire life looking for love, but you never spend that same time and energy into putting into your life goals. You are looking for love more than you are looking for something to get you and your family where you need to go. Does that make any sense to me? It don't make any sense to me. It don't. I tell you, stop setting these relationships goals. Start setting life goals, right? And all I'm saying is, I'm not telling you to stop putting love first. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying stop misplacing love and start by putting that love into yourself. Love yourself first before you try to love somebody else. Nobody can love you more than you can love yourself. Nobody loved me more than I love me. And the reason why I love me so much because I know me, because I spend a lot of time with me. And if somebody chooses to love me, that's great. But guess what? I don't care if somebody loves me because I love myself. Everything people do for me is a bonus. I love myself. I'm not saying this in a cocky way, but I truly love me. My son, mom tell me all the time, you always looking in the mirror. Yeah, because I love me. I talk to myself in the mirror. I speak affirmations. Why? Because guess what? If you don't love yourself, how can you expect someone to really love you? And this goes for if you're 18 years old, if you're 80 years old, the same information applies. Because it's people that's 70, 80 years old spending more time and energy looking for love instead of setting up their next generation for good. But that's none of my business. Being humble, this is another thing right here. Being humble. People say all the time, be humble, be humble. But nobody never tell you be humble when you broke. Nobody tell you be humble when you're struggling. Nobody tell you be humble when you ain't got nothing going on and things are just struggling. But the moment that you start to have the things that you want to achieve the success, everybody always tell you be humble. Be humble. I hate when people tell me be humble because they wasn't telling me be humble when I was broke. They wasn't telling me be humble when I was struggling, when I was putting everybody else first. But the moment I have some type of success and I choose to believe in myself, always be humble. And being humble, people look in the dictionary, all it means is that basically is to put yourself down in a way, right? Think about it, right? In order to not offend insecure people, they will tell you be humble. You know how many people nowadays are insecure because you believe in you? There's people in this car right now looking like, who do he think he is? Who did this guy think he is? Listen, it's because you are insecure about yourself. You wish you can talk like this in public about yourself to other people. Most people don't love themselves. And that's the first step in success in anything. You got to love yourself. You got to love you. You got to love you broke. You got to love you struggling. You got to love you not having it all together. You got to love the imperfections about yourself because guess what? The moment that you start to love yourself and embrace your imperfections, people from all across the world are going to love you. But why? The reason why they're going to love you because guess what? The average person don't really love themselves. And love is everything, right? So society doesn't feel comfortable unless you are wearing a muzzle, right? Listen, think about it, right? Unless you are quiet, that's the only time society like it when you're quiet, right? No one is winning. Listen, nobody is winning has a problem with somebody else is winning. So if you're winning right now in life, the only people that's going to have a problem with you winning and talking about you winning is the people that's not winning, right? Being humble is a straight societal rule that has been drawn up to keep your own confidence in check and keep your self-belief in their pockets. People tell you to be humble so that they can check your confidence. Why would you allow other people to check your confidence and basically control the way you feel about you? They want you to decide when you can have your own confidence. And guess what? It can make you your worst enemy because you really know the person that you are, but you have to decide that person to be somebody else that you're really not to make other people happy. Why spend time trying to dim your own light out of fear when that they can get in someone's eyes? But guess what? if that person was shining in their own light, they wouldn't even see yours and complain about it. So at the end of the day, why care about how people think about you? Why care? It doesn't matter. Move with a purpose. The reason for which something is done, created, which something exists. Live in a state of urgency. What's your purpose? You got to find your purpose. And making money is not your purpose. You can always listen. They print money every single day. There's no lack of it. There's an abundance of it. There's an abundance of it, right? So you have to live in purpose. What are you passionate about? Me, I'm passionate about helping people. No matter how many times people trade on me, no matter how many times people stab me in the back, I always find myself helping people. Literally. Because why? It's my purpose. I'm really passionate about it. I continue to help you because I know that if I help other people get what they want, I'm going to get what I want. So it's not really about me. It's about me being able to help other people so that I can receive what I want. So that's a win-win. You can't get nothing for something, right? And people are too cautious to their dreams. I'll get to it. No. Get to it now. They always putting off their goals. They're always putting off their dreams, right? When I ask people about their goals and their end games, I always hear, right now I'm doing this, but later on I'm gonna do this. What? How can you predict the future? How did you know you was gonna get another day? Do it now. Do it now. Stop waiting. There's no later on. Nothing is going to change between the now and then unless you do. Putting something off until later is a surefire way to never do it. To never do it. Too many people live in the future. They live in the future and live in the past, but they never live in the present. I can tell you that all the time that, listen, people use the future as an excuse to procrastinate. They procrastinate. Time is our most prized possession, not money. Too many times people say, man, I want to make all this money, but guess what? If you got to sacrifice all your time for it, then I don't want that money. The only money I want is that's going to give me time freedom at the same time. If it can't allow me time freedom with the money, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to work 80 hours a week in a corporate job just to make $100,000 a year, because now I'm sacrificing the only thing that really matters, which is my time. Some people don't understand the value of a dollar, but far worse, that more people don't understand the value of a minute. When you understand that time is the one thing that you can't get back, you will spend it wisely. And it goes back to what I said again, relationships. Some of y'all been in a relationship 5-10 years, or you've been in a relationship every other 6 months. And guess what? You just wasted so many time with people and you can't get that back. But what if you were to put that same time and energy into your goals and your vision and your dreams? What if you put time, energy, and goals into your dreams the same way you do looking for a relationship or looking for someone to love you? When the only person that you need to love you is the person that you look at every time you go look in the mirror. What if you put that same time and energy? Listen, where you put your time and your energy is where everything is going to flow. All throughout my 20s, I put my time, energy into building my business. That's it. I travel, I have fun, things like that. But guess what? Every single day that I wake up, goals, affirmations, speaking, knowing what I want. I didn't go to sleep 3 o'clock last night in the morning. Why? Because I was up working on this PowerPoint, dreaming about goals, vision. Every day, every morning. Listen, I'm always excited about my future because I know that every single day I'm doing something to be able to help me get farther in life than where I am today. I know I'm doing something. It could be big, it can be small, it don't matter. But guess what? A step forward in the right direction is a step forward in the right direction. Treat your life like it's a ticking time bomb. Why? Because it is. Every day that goes by, time is going. Think about it, right? It was just April 1st. Next week is May 1st. We are almost halfway through the year. And we can agree the year just started, right? Time is going fast. Look at the clock. That's how time is moving. And the reason why I know that, because guess what? It's 12 o'clock in Houston, but it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Before you know it, the day is almost done, right? Tomorrow's Thursday. Time is moving. So you have to look at yourself as this, right? I got to do it now. Don't wait. Stop waiting. Do it now. A lot of people, however, are just going through the motions and don't even notice that time is passing. You will encounter a lot of type of these people along your journey, oftentimes in the form of some type of relationship. And like I said before, some women I've tried to get to know in the past have questions how serious I was about them because I wasn't giving them the traditional indication of affection. The good morning text, the gifts, and I was surprised because I was giving them my most precious gift, which was my time. I'm not gonna buy. Listen, if I give you my time, that's worth more than any gift I can give you. Period. I don't buy a woman gifts to get their attention. I don't buy a woman gifts. I give you my time, because a time with me can change your life for a lifetime. I can give you information that can teach you to go out there and be your own boss. I don't buy a woman gift to get their attention. I don't gotta send you good morning text every single morning, because I know my value. I know my value, and you should know the value too, because you should know the person that you're dealing with before you even deal with them, right? So if you're dealing with someone who doesn't understand the value of their own time, then they certainly will not understand the value of your time. So I don't deal with people that don't value their own time, because guess what? They're not gonna value my own. And there's always something to be done. As long as you're accomplishing one small thing of the bigger picture, day by day, you are spending your time wisely. Don't worry about being perfect. Be more concerned with being productive. Think less and do more. Stop sitting around thinking about what you need to do and just go do it. Overthinking can paralyze your progress. Get out your own way. Nobody's stopping you with you. I've said a lot of things about the power of thoughts, of putting what you want into the universe and believing in yourself and filling your head with the ideas that you can propel yourself forward, meaning that you are the only person that's responsible for getting you to where you need to be. And it all starts with the thought. What do you put it out in the universe? I don't care how great you said you believe in yourself, to your mentor. What do you say when you're by yourself? It all matters what you say by yourself. Because guess what? Most of the time, you're by yourself. I believe in myself so much that, man, listen, I want to show y'all something real quick. I think I showed y'all before, but I mean, it's out of the world. Every morning, every time I go into my wallet, I have so many notes, but I want to show y'all. Every time I go into my wallet, I'm not going to show you money. I'm going to show you my goals. I'm going to show you what I speak to myself. I am a millionaire. I read this every day, 3 times over. What it says, all my goals, I am a millionaire. My date is I'm a millionaire by December 31st, 2021. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it don't matter how it's going to happen. I already got it on paper and I say it every single day. I know where I'm going. I don't need someone else to drive my boat and tell me where I need to go. Why? Because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. My goal is what it says. I am earning $1 million by December 31st, 2021. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I know $1 million is going to come to me. I know it because I put it out into the universe. Come on. What it says, I am a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire at 28 years old. These are my goals. These are just some of my goals that I keep on me. I'm not just telling you these things just to tell you these things. I'm telling you because I'm living what I'm telling you. I'm not just on here trying to get you hyped up. I'm telling you the real. The reason why I continue to get to where I need to go in life is because I believed in myself. No one came and saved me. Nobody came and saved me. Nobody called me, checked on me, nothing. Literally, I had to help me. I depended on me. Me is the one that got me to where I needed to go, not anybody else. Yes, I have mentors and things in them that had a help in where I'm at today. But at the end of the day, I've been this person before I signed my name on the paperwork. I've been had this belief system. When I was working at Applebee's, I ran Applebee's like I was the owner. Anytime they needed something, they called me. Why? Because I can do anything. I can cook. I wash dishes. I serve tables. I was the host. I did everything in that place. But it wasn't mine. So I said to myself, guess what? I'm gonna put all of this into something that I'm gonna own. And I told myself I'm gonna own multiple businesses. ACN was just the start. It was just the start. People don't even understand the things that I'm about to accomplish. They're gonna be like, man, this guy's crazy. And guess what? Crazy people got crazy goals and make crazy money. And you gotta be crazy enough to believe in yourself that you can have, do, and want and get anything that you put your mind to, and nobody can stop it but you. Don't be this person. Time, money, time, money. Why not have both? Why not have both? Why not have both? Because I wake up when I'm finished sleeping. It ain't about how much money I make. Because I make enough money to allow me to wake up when I'm finished sleeping and spend time with my son every single day. And I wake up, man, my son don't know what it feels like to have a daycare. My son don't know what it feels like to be around anybody else. My son only know me, his mom, and his grandparents. That's it. My son, he don't have a bunch of friends and things like that. No. I choose who I want to influence my son around. Because guess what? Growing up, I was in the hood of Baltimore. I was influenced by the drug dealers and the people that was in the streets. And I could have been in the streets, but the reason why I wasn't in the streets because I knew I wanted better for my life. All my friends that I'm growing up is either dead or in jail, or they in Baltimore right now doing the same thing they've been doing. That's why I'm being in Baltimore like that. If I'm there, I'm there for 3 days and nobody knows it. Because all my old friends are not going to bring me back to the old place and the old me that I used to be. I'm a new person. The person that they knew, I'm not the same person. But in the end, all of those thoughts are useless. And it's useless if it's not compounding the action. You can think all the greatest thoughts you want, but if you don't do anything, nobody else will ever know who you are. Nobody will know who you are. Keep doing, keep making, keep pushing. It's all about output. Do it so that you can do it again. Get as many reps in as possible. Repetition is the father of perfection. I told you guys, I started working out about 2 weeks now, and I've been going hard, and it feels so good. But guess what? I hate working out. But I wake up every day and I say to myself, I'm gonna do an hour workout. I'm gonna do an hour workout. And every time I go and do an hour workout, I feel better. And I think to myself, wow, all I had to do was just push myself. I had to do was just push myself. Now I'm more healthier. I mean, it's like, man, I feel I can live to be 100 years old. And the reason why I say that, because I know I will, because I take care of my body and I take care of my mind, and I'm not letting this world stress me out. I'm not letting the people around me influence me to do things that's not making me happy. I do what I want. I do the things that make me happy. You have to believe that you are doing something good and have the foresight to understand that even if it's not as good as you want it to be, guess what? It will become great through practice. Practice make perfect. And if you want your children to turn out well, spend twice as much time with them and half as much money. I don't buy my son a bunch of things that he don't need. I spend a lot of time with him. My son is wealthy in time. He know his daddy is always there. Always there. Whatever he needs, we can go to the park anytime you want. Where you want to go? I don't spend a bunch of money on my son because I'm not going to buy my child. And too many parents are trying to buy their children instead of actually spending time with them. And then they wonder why their kids grow up to be the person that they don't want them to be, because you as a parent did not spend time with your children. You was too busy else helping somebody else be able to spend more time with their children. That's why your boss children are doing so great, because guess what? You work so hard to give him the time freedom so that he can spend as much time with his kids. I'm just being real. So you have to be okay with not being great for a year or two. Guess what? Even if it takes you 10 years, even when you reach your first goal, when your belief has finally been recognized and you manifested the universe and your work will not be perfect, perfection lives on the horizon. It's elusive. You will keep leveling up and keep chasing perfection. You will continuously strive to be the best version of yourself. There's always more to do. Move with a purpose. Move with a purpose. That's all I got for you guys today.